Welcome into Bill Reedus Field in Marionville as Mediacom brings you district championship football tonight here on MC22. Tonight it's the Class 1 District 4 title tilt between the Lockwood Tigers and the Marionville Comets. Hi everybody, welcome into Marionville for the first time. I'm Don West, joined tonight by Shane Freeby, and it's a district title game tonight between a Lockwood Tiger team that comes in at 9-1 with its only loss coming to Marionville in week 3 of the season, and an undefeated Comet team at 11-0. And Shane, this just looks like one of the best small school matchups of the night.
Yeah, we really enjoy getting to see the small school teams play, and oftentimes this late in the year you get to see those teams with a big offense play a team with a big defense. Both these teams have high-powered offenses, so if you're a fan of scoring, tonight's the night you want to see this game.
Lockwood, the number 2 seed in the district, Marionville, the 1, and let's take a look at our star-focused players tonight. For the visiting Lockwood Tigers, their quarterback is Max Schnelly, 83 of 130 through the air, 1,426 yards, and 16 touchdowns.
Schnelly also starts as strong safety, has 4 interceptions on the defensive side. He's also ran it for 15 touchdowns and over 500 yards, so he's that type of Class 1 quarterback who does not just a little bit of everything, but a lot of everything.
On the defensive side for Lockwood, it's Lane Dunlap with 112 tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, and 4 picks this year.
And he's actually from Golden City, which co-ops with Lockwood in football. Last March, he helped lead the Eagles to the Class 1 Final Four in basketball, but tonight, he's a Tiger, and he's just one of those small school athletes that makes life miserable for his opponents. Dunlap will be a big difference maker tonight.
And we will break and come back and take a look at the Marionville Comets when we return on District Championship night here on MC22. Fans filling the stands tonight here in Marionville. Cars and trucks lined out on the far side of the field to get their view of tonight's Class 1 District 4 Championship football matchup between Lockwood and Marionville. Don West joined once again by Shane Freeby. A nice 49-degree evening with a light breeze here to start the night. Maybe some rain for overnight, but Shane, we're back on the grass this evening, and it looks to be in good shape.
Yeah, different look for this late in the year. There has been some rain that came through earlier on to keep it somewhat green, and we're hoping that rain stays away till this one gets done tonight.
Let's check our star focus players tonight for the Marionville Comets, and as we look at Marionville, Dakota Wilson is a running back with 187 carries, 1,529 yards, and 29 touchdowns.
So he's getting almost 3 touchdowns a game on the ground for this Comet team that scores an average of 49 points every time they hit the field. Wilson's a state champion squat lifter, which has great strength and power, and he will be quite a handful for the Tigers tonight.
And defensively for the Comets, Will Carlton is a free safety with 31 tackles and 8 picks this year. This is really a 2-part focus because as quarterback, he's thrown for 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he's just a complete athlete.
And that really kind of describes this entire Marionville team. The skill players are also basketball and baseball players, and the Comets just have one of those special classes on the field of football. A big night for Carlton means a big night for Marionville.
We will send a team to the state high school football playoffs this evening, deciding the championship of Class 1 District 4. It's Lockwood and Marionville, and it comes your way next here on MC22. Here in the land of the white squirrels, we are ready to go in Marionville at Bill Reedus Field as the Marionville Comets take the field. In the semifinal round of the district last week, they beat Pierce City 34-0, and Lockwood got a win over Kabul 35-28. So Lockwood beaten just once this year. In the last 5 meetings, Marionville has gone 3-2. The scores of the last 2 games against each other have both been 35-20. The Comets winning in week 3 this season, and Lockwood winning by the same score in the matchup last year. Coin toss at midfield and about set to go with this district championship matchup. Shane, how about the keys to the game tonight?
Start with the Lockwood Tigers, and they just look back at their last game. A couple of things went wrong for them in that. They had a number of penalties. They just got antsy, got a little nervous in district play, and they had to start behind the chains. A number of those penalties were on false starts, so they really need to eliminate that on offense. Defensively, they know this is a Marionville team that can run. They can't miss assignments, and when they get to the ball, they have to tackle the first time and not have to wait for that second wave to come by. For the Marionville Comets, flip side of that, they need to just do the little things. And this is just blocking assignments. They do want to eliminate those negative plays. Just the small things late in the year will make a big difference. Defensively, you just have to tackle. Same thing that Lockwood's looking at doing is getting good fundamental tackles, breaking down and not giving up that big play either.
Both teams have been high scoring this year. Lockwood averaging 42 points a game and Marionville 49. Brian Reese is the referee with Jacob Reese, his cousin, the umpire. Bob Palmer, the linesman. Tafton Earls, the line judge. And Austin Etter is the back judge. Aside from both teams scoring high, they allow not very many. Lockwood just 14 points per game allowed and Marionville 13.5. So we'll see what gives tonight in this district championship matchup in Class 1 District 4. And Lockwood will receive the opening kick. Comets will have Will Carlton kicking away in addition to his free safety duties that we told you about in our open tonight and quarterback duties. He's completed 74% of his passes as a quarterback. And he'll be out there all night, including the opening kick here this evening. District Championship Small Town Football tonight in Marionville. And the ball fielded at the 20-yard line. And coming back out close to the 40 for the Lockwood Tigers is Eli Kerr. And so Lockwood hits the field behind quarterback Max Schnelly. Shane told you 16 touchdown passes, 15 rushing touchdowns for Schnelly. And not quite ready here as Brian Reese steps in before the first play from the 40-yard line for the Lockwood Tigers. They are looking up to the press box.
Equipment malfunction with one of the players, and they're going to burn a timeout. That way they don't lose a player already on the opening kickoff on special teams.
Well, so an auspicious start to this one. So for the Lockwood Tigers on offense, we'll see Max Schnelly with Jamie Kramer at tailback and Lane Dunlap at fullback. The tight end is Dylan Gallup. The wide receivers, Kane Cooper and Blaine Garver. On the offensive line, it's Braden Hamilton, Eli Friend, Reese Fife, Quentin Raymond, and Spencer Neal.
Equipment issue with Jackson Smith for Marionville, so he comes over. They burn the timeout. That way they don't have to take him out and replace him. So that tells me he's a pretty valuable player there if you're going to burn that timeout on before the clock even starts in the first quarter just to make sure he's on the field.
I'd say so. So these Comets in the opening round of district got a forfeit win over Greenfield that couldn't play due to COVID issues, and Lockwood in the district quarter beat Miller 42-6. Now they match up and Schnelly goes to work for Lockwood, and a pass across the middle is knocked down and incomplete.
And you're going to have a hold over on the right side of the line. One of the linemen got a handful of jersey, and Eli Friend trying to protect his quarterback. Held the defender coming around the left side.
And that's 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But they'll only take it back 10 from the line of scrimmage. Step it back to the 30 for a 1st and 20 now for Lockwood. Tonight's winner moves on to the state quarterfinal round next week, and Windsor or Skyline will await the winner of this game. Those two matching up in District 3 tonight. Schnelly snowed under quickly. Gets 2, maybe 3, but it will be 2nd and long. And the Comets on the defensive side with Gracia, defensive end, and Messenger, Parker on the D-line. Ditmar, Brown, and Bratton with Smith and Wilson at linebackers. In the secondary, Young, Carlton, and Kleinlein. Gracia, sorry about that. Now Schnelly wrapped up after a gain of just about 2. These Marionville fans are serious about their football below us.
I don't think it's just below us. That's the group that's directly below us. But even on the far side, completely standing room around the track area. They've got a parking lot just outside the field that cars were able to come up and park on the side.
Lockwood, coached by Clay Lassiter. He returns for his second stint as the head coach of the Tigers this year. His 14th year overall. The 103 wins. He's a 2000 Lockwood graduate, and he's now the superintendent of Lockwood schools. 3rd down, and out goes the ball to Lane Dunlap, and wrapped up quickly just shy of the 40-yard line, and Lockwood will have to punt the football.
4-yard gain, a crossing pattern with 2 players on the right side of the field as they crissed right at the 35, and then they crossed, and the reception was made, but just able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. There you see one guy coming across right in front of the intended receiver in Lane Dunlap. Dunlap met and dropped by Jackson Smith, who we mentioned earlier. They had to take the timeout to get him back on the field.
So Kane Cooper is out to punt for Lockwood. And some stout defense from the Comets to get this night started. Low snap, big trouble here. Cooper is going to be taken down inside the 30-yard line. And the Comets come in strong behind Kyle Bratton.
1st and 10, they got the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 Comets.
Loss of 12 on the play on the low snap, and one of those errors early on in the game. A good job of not trying to do anything crazy after he did pick it up and try to get the kickoff anyway. He just tried to get as much as he could on the ground. Only picked up a couple of more yards, but it is a loss of 12 on the play, giving Marionville great field position.
So now it's Will Carlton and Dakota Wilson next to him behind the center for the Marionville Comets. And it's Wilson to carry for about 3 yards to the 25-yard line. Dakota Wilson with those big rushing numbers we showed you earlier. And on the offense, it's Carlton with Wilson and Coy Ditmar at halfback, Kyle Bratton at tight end, Wiley Brown and Jackson Smith at wideouts, Parker, Gracia, Phillips, Messenger, and White on the offensive line. 2nd and 7 for the Comets. And a give to Wilson. He'll power it ahead to the 20-yard line. That's close to the 1st down. Looks like he's about a yard short. Defensively for the Lockwood Tigers, Cooper, Hamilton, and Neal with Robertson on the front line. Kramer, Dunlap, and Raymond at linebackers. Kerr, Garver, Schnelly, and Stump in the secondary. 3rd, they'll call it 2. And the Comets with 2 runs to Wilson so far. They'll go back to him again, and he has stood up pretty quickly and maybe a little short of the 1st down still yet. There's Lane Dunlap in to make the stop.
Saw the handoff in the backfield, and they were trying to shoot that gap on the right side, and a good job by Dunlap to come up and stick him a yard short and leave it as a 4th and short.
And Peyton Grubbs, his 5th year as the Comet head coach with a 27-24 record. A 2005 Marionville grad, and he was a football state champion in the fall of 2003 for these Comets when they beat Princeton in the championship game at the Dome in St. Louis. 4th down and 1 for Marionville. Back to Wilson, 1st down, and he drives ahead inside the 10. And the Comets will have a 1st and goal.
Took that big hit just as soon as he crossed the line of scrimmage, bounced off of it, got good yardage after that. Now he's going to be in a goal situation as they are inside the 10 down to the 7.
Look how he hangs on to that football with both hands and still has the drive to get it ahead to the 7-yard line for a 1st and goal.
Just rolled past Blaine Garver.
Now Carlton, big trouble for him. Jamie Kramer, the linebacker, is there for Lockwood.
Jamie Kramer with 3.5 sacks on the season now. Came in with 26 tackles. Able to wrap up Will Carlton.
Loss back to the 10 for 2nd and goal for the Comets. Moving along here in the first quarter. Carlton going left and tripped up. And it's Kramer again.
Outstanding job by Kramer on the sweep over to the left side to time it out, take his legs out from underneath him. And this is one thing Marionville will do. This is a run pass option play, but it is pre-snap. They look at what the defense is doing before they even have the snap. You saw him move Dakota Wilson from right to left, put his man in motion from right to left as well as a lead blocker. So they do a really good job of reading the defense and making that silent play call back behind the line of scrimmage as they know what they're doing.
From the 13, 3rd and goal for Marionville. No, it's a keeper. And he'll be stopped well short. The fake to Wilson there, and Carlton is stuck back at the 11-yard line. Gets 2 yards, but now 4th down for the Comets.
4th and goal, Comets.
And Marionville, not a team that will go for 3. It's a touchdown or bust offense for them as they get inside in the red zone.
Fourth and goal from the 11. Early turning point in this game. Carlton across the middle, and he undershoots his man, incomplete. Coy Dittmar, the intended target, and Lockwood will take over on downs.
And he was open from the minute the ball was snapped. Nobody was on that side of the field. They were playing zone coverage back deep, and they didn't recognize him coming over from the right side. The ball had been thrown just a little bit higher. There you see him. He's just jetting down the right side, wide open. It's just underthrown.
So now the Lockwood Tigers from their own 11 after this ball falls just short of Coy Dittmar. Schnelly with a give, and off the right side, a run out to the 15-yard line, and that's Jamie Kramer, the tailback. Kramer, 437 yards on the ground and 7 touchdowns, but has played in just 4 games due to a variety of issues.
Yeah, played week 1, only got about half of game 2 in, and then he didn't play again until week 9. Just injuries, and got the bug, and now that he is back, he's putting up some extremely strong numbers.
2nd and 6. Back to Kramer. Drives ahead across the 20, and that looks like it's enough for a Lockwood first down.
Again, that's close to the 6.
Gain of 6 on his 2nd carry. Again, what he's been able to do since he came back. 7 touchdowns on the ground, 3 in the air. Again, that's only in 4 games. 47 carries, averaging right at 9 yards per carry.
It is a first down. 4 minutes and change to go in the first quarter here in Marionville. The give to Kramer, open space, and a flag. Several flags fly in. Looked like a hold in there, and Kramer is dumped as he crosses the 30-yard line. And some of this is coming back. So these teams both in the Southwest Conference now, which came in after the Spring River Valley Conference dissolved, and Marionville used to be in the Mid-Lakes.
Well, the line did a great job of blocking up front to create the hole, but then a takedown with the hold further down the field, 8 yards down, will give Kramer a gain of 8, but then a 10-yard loss makes it a 12-yard to gain play.
Yeah, 1st and 12 now. Back to Kramer. And he'll cross what was the original line of scrimmage out across the 22 or so. And so, aside from those last two meetings that each team has won by the score of 35-20, in 2018, Lockwood won just 8-0 here. And before 2018, Lockwood in the Spring River Valley and Marionville in the Mid-Lakes. They have had some other recent district semifinal matchups. Dunlap out across the 25. It'll be a third down play coming up for Lockwood. In the 2015 district semifinal, Marionville won 48-32. And your side-by-side comparison, the high scoring, the low points allowed. Lockwood 7-4, Marionville 4-6 last year, and nearly an equal number of district championships. Marionville could catch Lockwood with a win tonight. Schnelly to throw, and it is over the head of the receiver and incomplete, and Lockwood will have fourth down. The target is Kane Cooper. 21 catches on the year for 276.
Well, we thought coming in the offense from both sides would shine. So far, it's been the defense. They have gotten a couple of big stops. There have been a handful of penalties in the opening couple of drives in the special team snafu for Lockwood on their first drive, but so far the entire game's been played to the left side of the 50, and now Lockwood will try to get their special teams to pin Marionville back a little further for their second drive.
Clean snap this time, and the ball will take a Marionville bounce and be knocked down around the 40-yard line. So a 33-yard punt. The Comets will indeed start at the 40-yard line. That 2015 season district final Marionville win over Lockwood 48-32. And then the Comets lost to Thayer in the district final. And they met up in 2013 as well in a district semifinal. Marionville won 61-20, then beat Jasper in the district final and lost to Valley Catholic in the state quarterfinal. 2:11 to go first quarter. From the 40, it's a give to Jackson Smith coming around, and Lockwood ready for that.
Smith runs around the far side, gets a small gain on the
Pick up
play.
a couple for Smith.
Second and 8.
All conference pick in baseball.
When you look at this stat line for Marionville, yeah, sure, there are a couple of players that are head and shoulders above the rest, but 11 total players out of this offense have scored either a receiving or a rushing touchdown this season. So can't really focus in on just one player. Sure, Dakota Wilson is going to be one of them you look at, but if you start to focus on him too much, somebody else has the ability to step up.
Give to Wilson, out close to the 45-yard line. The Comets will have third down. Third and a long 5, a short 6, about 5.5 to go here. They got to get straight squarely to midfield. Peyton Grubbs also won a state basketball championship for Marionville his senior year in 2005, and then played baseball in the outfield at Southwest Baptist. He was an assistant here at Marionville before he became head coach under Bill Voris and Jamie LaSalle. On third down, it is knocked down by big Braden Hamilton, the D tackle at 6'6" and 270.
Well, the rush was coming from the inside. They were showing an inside linebacker blitz. Great job by the offensive line to pick it up, but still, whenever you're 6'2" over on the end and you have a little bit of verticality to that as well, reaching up, swatting that pass down, great job by the end.
And the Comets with a fourth down. Kyle Bratton is the punter, and there's a flag. And the Comets like it. This could get them close enough to midfield to feel good about going for it.
Wouldn't even say it was really a hard snap. It was just over on the right side. Encroachment as Jamie Kramer on the right side got a little bit of a head start. Thought he didn't cross the line of scrimmage, but he did. So now it brings a 4th and mid to a 4th and short.
Just a one, even less than one to go, and now Marionville will go for it. Final minute of the first quarter. Scoreless in this district championship matchup. Give to Wilson, first down, here he goes. Wilson, it's a race toward the end zone, and right at the goal line, he is in for the touchdown.
Officially a 51-yard touchdown run. And they were showing an inside linebacker blitz, and they got into the backfield too soon. They got past that initial wave of the line, and by that time, Dakota Wilson had already gotten the drop step, gotten past the rushers, and once he got past the second wave, he was gone. Good job in pursuit, but a huge run by Dakota Wilson, and Marionville strikes first.
On a 4th and 1 play that was set up by that offside penalty. The Comets on the board, and they line up to go for two. Very wide set here, loose formation. Wilson comes in motion, fake to him. Carlton going up the middle. And he is in. Yes, in for two.
Only Will Carlton's second two-point conversion of the season. And that is the team's 26th this year.
Eight nothing Marionville.
Dakota Wilson is just something else. The staggering numbers that he's put up, they have gotten the benefit of rolling forward. Just barely breaks the line, and then Carlton a great job.
Ooh,
as
the ball
comes out. But he did get across the goal line first before he lost possession. So a good break for Marionville on two accounts. May have been stopped short on the touchdown run, and the ball comes out right as he crosses the line for the two-point conversion.
Just those huge rushing numbers added to here now by Dakota Wilson, his 30th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Comets strike for the first big play of the night. Wilson from 51. Clay Lassiter and the Lockwood Tigers on that far sideline. Clay was a student teacher in the spring of '04 and began coaching football that fall when his coaching predecessor, Chuck Lambert, took a defensive job in Sterling, Kansas, Sterling College. And out to midfield here. The onside recovered by Lockwood. Quentin Raymond, two-way starter on the recovery. So now Lockwood is 50 yards and a couple of feet away, just like Marionville was moments ago.
And in two drives, Lockwood has only been able to muster a grand total of 22 yards so far of offense.
Give off the left side and driven back pretty hard is Kramer. And that could very well be the final play of the first quarter. Lockwood won't have to run it again. They gain just a yard or so here. Call it 2, 2nd and 8.
Across the midfield, it's going to be 2nd down and 8.
Tigers slow up to the line, not in any hurry as the clock counts down. And it runs out here. That will be the end of the first. In Marionville, the Comets with an 8-0 lead on district championship night of the high school football season. The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message was brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and Mediacom MC22. Well, second down here, going toward the west goal now for the Lockwood Tigers. From the Marionville 48. Fake, and Schnelly will go up the middle. Nice gain for a first down inside the Comet 40 for quarterback Max Schnelly.
For a Tiger first down at the 38 of the Comets.
To the 38. And now Lockwood looks to gain a little momentum on offense.
Good for 11 yards. Tripped up by Will Carlton. Only the second first down that Lockwood has had. And this is the biggest drive they've had so far tonight.
May just barely be back to positive yardage now, right?
Yep.
Here's Kramer turning the corner. And he'll take it inside the 30-yard line. That's a gain of about 9. So a good run here for Kramer, and the quarter break was a good thing for the Lockwood Tigers.
This time coming from left side on the sweep. Good gang tackling again, and boy, just a different running game whenever he's in. You wonder during the middle weeks of the season, whenever he was out, Landon Stump got a variety of carries, had 4 touchdowns. They kind of spread the wealth, kept Lane Dunlap active.
Tiger timeout here, 10:54 to go in the second. Marionville up 8-0. We'll step away for just a moment here on MC22. Second quarter play, Marionville up 8-0, and second and a long one here for the Lockwood Tigers. The fake, Schnelly goes back, and this is intercepted. Picked off at the 16-yard line by, let's get the number, it's kind of crumpled up there, but it's Kyle Bratton.
Second interception of the season for Kyle Bratton. He's done a little bit of everything back in the secondary. He has 9 tackle for losses as he's still able to get back into the backfield, has a sack, a forced fumble, now his second interception. And you see Schnelly drop back, looked like a good plant of the foot, try to get it over the defense. His intended target was Jamie Kramer over on the right side, but the pass didn't have enough air underneath it, and a good tip drill as the interception is hauled in by Bratton.
So now from the 16, Carlton sends it out to his right and up to the 20-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on the completion to Jackson Smith.
Jackson Smith on the completion.
So Smith has gone over 300 receiving yards for the year tonight.
That's the first complete pass. So now Will Carlton's 1 of 3 tonight as the tackle was made by Blaine Garver.
At the 20, 2nd and 6 for the Comets. And now it's Marionville to call a timeout.
10:02 left in the first half.
So the second called timeout for the Comets after they took one after the opening kickoff. Duly noted by Brian Reese. A lot of big games on the district championship schedule tonight. We take a look at Class 6, District 3. That has Nixa at Ray-Pec. Class 5, District 5, Glendale goes to Lebanon. A lot of 2 versus 1 matchups here. Webb City at Carthage. They had them lined up a lot of the day today in Carthage for that one. Carl Junction is at West Plains. The 3 seed Mountain Grove beat Ava last week, and they go to Buffalo. Mount Vernon visiting Cassville, Mountain View Liberty at Fairgrove. That's a 4 versus 3 after Liberty beat Catholic and Fairgrove beat Forsyth last week. Sarcoxy at Lamar in Class 2, and the winner of this game plays either Windsor or Skyline.
And you look just at Class 3 with Buffalo and Cassville. Buffalo kind of a resurgence, a story we didn't expect to see this year out of the Bison, a team that has not been extremely successful over the last few years, but they're the 1 seed. Cassville, we know how good they are. And Odessa, they were knocked out this week due to COVID, so they had to forfeit. There won't be a repeat champ this year in Class 3.
Wilson rounding the corner and headed to the west, and he is taken down across the 30-yard line for a Comet first down. So at the 31, Marionville with a fresh set of downs.
Low snap, but picked up and handed off. You saw some good blocking help up front. He is tackled by Lane Dunlap there.
Ray Peck with an early lead over Nixa, 3-0. Lebanon leading Glendale 20-0 already. First down at their own 31 for the Comets. Back to Wilson, clear of the 35 as he picks up right at 5.
11th carry for Dakota Wilson.
Just 5'5", 160, not big at all. Man, he's got a lot of drive in him.
He does, and I would say that as the season has gone along, you've really seen that offensive line play a key role in the numbers that Dakota Wilson has been able to put up. As in the first couple of series that we saw, there weren't any real big gains, but after that, they have opened up some really big holes, and Dakota's been able to drive right through them and get great yardage.
Back to him. 5 more, or right at it anyway. Maybe held just short of the first down. They'll put it right on the 40 for a 3rd and 1. Webb City leads Carthage 14-7 in the second. Well, the ball right at the 40-yard line, and it's clearly short, but they're going to bring it out anyway.
TV time.
Yep, okay. Well, it's our first ever trip to Marionville for our sports coverage, but the Comets were on our old channel, Channel 14, on September 16th of 2005 at Stratford when Lee Flood was the top running back for the Comets and Richie Ropke was the quarterback for Stratford. The Indians won that game in 05 just after Peyton Grubbs graduated. Third and 1. And Wilson is stuck pretty quick. Looks like he has just enough, though. And they'll move the chains for Marionville.
Oh, boy, a great effort by the line to try to get to him in the backfield and stop that progress, but wasn't enough, as it is indeed the 1 yard. See who gets to him. I think it might have been just the lineman there. Yeah, number 55 went over and got him. That was Spencer Neal. So Neal with his 57th tackle of the year, but just that forward momentum as he was able to fall past the line of scrimmage.
The first down, and Carlton gonna go deep, one-on-one, and it is caught, and it's going to the end zone for Kyle Bratton. From 59.
Jump ball, and where we saw earlier on the interception, the ball didn't have enough air in it. That one had just enough under it for Kyle Bratton to haul that one in for a 59-yard score. You'll see the loft on the ball, and it just gets right over the fingertip right there of the secondary player in Eli Kerr. And Bratton with his 8th receiving touchdown in 2020. His longest reception right before that had been from 27 yards out. This one from 59.
A 2-point try for the Comets. Fake to Wilson. Carlton looking, and he'll be taken down. 2-point try, no good. So 14-0 for Marionville here in the middle part of the second quarter.
Jamie Kramer there, able to get the stop. Austin White was the original kicker for this Marionville team. He went 15 of 21 on PATs. He is now out. That puts Will Carlton as their extra point kicker, and since then, they really haven't even attempted the PAT. They've gone from 2-point conversions from then on out. Another look, this one from the side. Look how much air gets underneath that on the lob. He is able to, and the pass, since it had so much air underneath it, it really didn't get deep down the field. He had to break stride and wait for it to get back to him. But great concentration to look it in. And that's something else that these receivers do. These receivers don't block. And Peyton Grubbs was very specific about that. He says, whenever we're at the line, we know if it's going to be a run. We know if it's going to be a pass. And if it's going to be a pass, nobody's going to block for anybody else. We're just going to run a pattern and hope that our quarterback can find you. And what a great pass that was to Bratton.
So the Comets up 2 touchdowns, 7:49 to go here in the second. A lot of people on the 4-lane track on the other side of the field. I mean, a lot. Love the atmosphere of Class 1 football.
One reason we like to go to Miller so often, just that atmosphere that you don't get in the big city.
Carlton's kick, and the kicking tee went as far as the ball did.
It went further than the ball did.
Picked up there at the 27-yard line.
The tee flies to the 27-yard. I don't know if that counts for anything, but
So the kickoff out of bounds.
And when you saw the kick, it was like a sand wedge. So much turf and sand and dirt came up.
I thought for a second it might be a shoe, but it was the tee. They'll put it just across the 35.
First and 10 Tigers from their own 36-yard line.
So check this out.
There they both go. Stay with us here.
There's the tee over there to the left.
There's the ball hitting right on the 36, and the tee carried further than that. So at the 36, Lockwood now down by 14. And here's Dunlap powering out to the 40.
Straight up the middle for Dunlap. He gets to the 40-yard line.
Just over 5 yards for Lane Dunlap on his second carry.
Shane, you and I were talking on the way down. It had been 17 years since you and I had been to this field for a game, and we were both here separately around 2003 playoff time.
Peyton Grubbs was a player then. Nick Smart, the other feature player for the Marionville Comets then.
Schnelly will duck and run, and out at midfield, down he goes, a little bit out of bounds, but we'll see no flag at the end of that. And it's a Lockwood first down, just short of the 50. We remember a playoff game in 03 that I believe against Lockwood, just in a torrential downpour, like 3 inches of rain that day.
Watch the run there, and he steps out right at the 49, 50-yard line. They marked him back a little bit further than where he actually stepped out, but
Marionville in 03 played Greenfield and won in the quarterfinal, and they went to Tipton in the semifinal. This one is caught and then dropped, and it's incomplete, intended for Eli Kerr.
And if you remember back in that time frame, Marionville, it wasn't just football they were good in. They were extremely good in basketball in that time frame as well.
State champions in '05. And on the subject of Marionville basketball, Ted Young named to the new induction class of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, going in the basketball enthusiast lunch on December 9th, along with Carly Deer Stubblefield and our buddy Rick Jester. Across the middle and incomplete, and that's intended for Kane Cooper. Ted Young, a Marionville basketball legend.
And the Drury.
So 3rd and 10 now for the Tigers. Schnelly designed run, got some blockers, got the first down and plenty more, and Schnelly still on his feet to the 25 and down around the 20-yard line of the Comets. A big gainer, biggest of the night for Lockwood.
Over 30 yards. We'll give him 32 to be exact, and actually 31. And how about this blocking help? Watching one of your backs come up and lead the way for you.
It's away from Wilson there, and Wilson sticking with him and eventually catching him.
Give Kyle Bratton credit too.
At the 19-yard line. To Dunlap. Inside the 10. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Dunlap on a carry. That's enough for another Tiger first down inside the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal from about the 7.
1st and goal at the 7 for Lockwood. So the Tigers now. Schnelly to the 5. And is the ball out?
Ball looks to come loose.
Marionville pointing their way. Let's see. They unpile. And we're going to stay Lockwood ball.
Lockwood ball. 2nd down and goal from the
At the about the 3.
Well, Coy Dittmar, he thought he had that one knocked free. See him coming right at Dittmar. The ball does come loose.
And then it's a free-for-all. More blue than white there, too.
Might have been Reese Fife that came up with it.
2nd and goal around the 3, and it's Dunlap. And he is short.
Dunlap on the carry. He stops shy of the goal line.
At the 1 for 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal.
Well, again, the best drive that Lockwood has been able to put together so far here in this first half. Clay Lasser is wondering, what do we have to do to get this punched in? Gonna have 2 stabs at it from the 1-yard line. And a different formation. Boy, look how far back Kramer is on this.
Schnelly will take it himself and takes it in for the score, and on the board.
1-yard touchdown run, first scoring drive of the night for the Lockwood Tigers, and Schnelly with his 16th rushing touchdown.
And yeah, Kramer was 7 or 8 yards back behind the formation there. Schnelly clears the goal line, and the kick now on the extra point is good.
And good. Extra point good. 4:58 left in our first half.
And Jonathan Baugh out there for the PAT for Lockwood.
Another look at it. As Schnelly stays on his feet. Again, it was Reese Fife and Quentin Raymond was able to get good leverage inside and clear the way.
So 4:58 to go in the second, and 14-7. This district title tilt. MC22.net is your online home for MC22 program, daily schedules and replay times, highlights, and much more online at MC22.net. Check that out. Much needed momentum there for the Lockwood Tigers after falling behind 14-0.
And after their first two drives, they only netted a grand total of 22 yards. They're now up to over 100 yards of offense. 109 yards on the ground and only one pass completion so far for Lockwood.
Jonathan Baugh to kick it off for the Tigers.
And it's Jonathan Baugh to kick it away. His sister, Rachel Baugh, is on the roster as well as a Lockwood kicker. And it looks like the Tigers got an early start here. 5 back to the 35
Penalty
for Baugh.
The Tigers going to move it back 5 yards. We'll kick it again.
So the way things shake out for next week's matchup, for the winner of this game, Lockwood is playing for a home game to host either Windsor or Skyline. And for Marionville, they would host Skyline but go to Windsor the way it looks. The Class 1 quarterfinals. A lot of programs and games will move to Saturday next week. Some Friday, probably more than just a few on Saturday. Picked up and a little fake there from the 10-yard line. And out to the 25. Good additional effort there from Kyle Bratton.
Blaine Garver got to him. Nice return across the 25. With this Marionville offense just so explosive. We mentioned 11 players with touchdowns. They've had 10 different ball carriers find the end zone. They've been able to find 9 different receivers with touchdowns. One of those receivers was also the quarterback on a trick play. Will Carlton has rushed for touchdowns, he's thrown for touchdowns, and he's caught a touchdown.
From their 26, it's Dakota Wilson, and nothing. Might have lost a yard there.
Wilson met at the line for no gain.
Big defensive stack by the Lockwood Tigers, led by their 50, Clayton Robertson, defensive end. 2nd and 11. Counting down to 4 minutes to go in the first half here, Bill Reedus Field in Marionville. And it's a keeper for Carlton. Off of the fake to Wilson. He's to the 30. But the Comets are going to be 6 yards short here and have 3rd down.
Good second effort again after that hit to pick up another yard or two. The one thing really haven't mentioned yet with this Marionville team is the one thing we haven't experienced this year until right now. Every single player on the roster is dressed out. No one out due to quarantine, no one out due to injury, nothing at all. On the other side, Lockwood, I think maybe 6 players or so, 5 or 6, that are out.
Third and 6. Wilson, first down to the 40. And the Comets will move it along. And yeah, there are a handful of games forced to be canceled tonight because of COVID issues around Missouri.
We had heard a total of 3 so far. As the run by Dakota again. Good stick and wrap. Oh boy, look at that fundamental tackle going down low for Blaine Garver. just stops his legs from churning after he picks up 10, but another movement of the chains.
From their own 41, Wilson works the right side. Doesn't get that block he needed and gets maybe a yard at best.
Eli Kerr upended him. And a good job by the wide receiver on the right side for Marionville. He could have easily gotten caught with a block in the back as they were running his way, but he stops and does not go over. Number 6 right there, Jackson Smith, just lets the play come to him.
Second and 9. Back to Wilson. 45-yard line. And it will be 3rd and 6. Under 2 to go, first half.
Marionville with 111 total rushing yards, and Dakota Wilson has 108 of them. Only other real chunk of good yardage was that passing touchdown to Kyle Bratton for 59.
Play clock at 10. Third and 6 for the Comets. And now timeout for Peyton Grubbs.
Timeout called by the Comets.
That will be Marionville's last.
Yeah, you mentioned the play clock was down to 10, and it took them a while to get back to the line. So Peyton Grubbs saves the 5-yard penalty and takes the timeout, but it's his last timeout there in that first half of play.
So it's time, that time of year in football, to look at brackets. And in Class 1 District 4, this is kind of the full meal deal here with the quarterfinals. Marionville winning, Pierce City defeating Ash Grove, Lockwood the win over Miller, and Kabul beat Diamond. And then the semifinals, Marionville the shutout of Pierce City. Lockwood a good competitive game with a improved Kabul team. And these two matching up for the title tonight. Band is ready to go. Good numbers in the Marionville band.
Well, Will Carlton has come over to the near sideline. Had the trainer come out and work on him. Now he does come back out.
It is 3rd and 6 for the Comets. And a hit to Bratton at midfield. And he will be taken out of bounds inside the 40-yard line of the Tigers, and Marionville converts on 3rd down.
And that is what they were talking about earlier with the way that they have this run-pass option. They are able to view the field before the snap even occurs, and the defender on that, Eli Kerr, was a good 10 yards off of Kyle Bratton. So Bratton goes 5 yards down the field, stops. That's where he needed to get to at least have an opportunity to move the chains. So that RPO pre-snap read, outstanding by Carlton.
And a screen, it's caught. And it's Wilson to the 30. That'll be short of a first down, so the clock will keep moving. Take us down under a minute at the Lockwood 30-yard line.
Second down and 3 to go, Comets.
2nd and 3.
So with the clock winding down, how important was that timeout they had to take there after that opening kickoff?
Yeah, to start the game. Look toward Wilson, big rush on, now downfield, and it's picked off. From the 10-yard line the other way for Lockwood, it's Schnelly. Schnelly to midfield. And he's going to take it all the way 90 yards.
Interception and return for 90 yards by Schnelly.
No flags down. And Lockwood, a PAT from tying it.
The bull rush was on, and Will Carlton back in the pocket got in a little too much of a hurry, throws it over the middle of the field, and looked to see who the intended target was, but I think they were probably looking for Jackson Smith as the rush was on. Jamie Kramer was looking at Will Carlton in the backfield. He felt that pressure, and then Schnelly, who was just sitting back in the secondary, able to convert with the return.
Jonathan Baugh's kick is no good.
Extra point is
So
no
14-13 Marionville.
left in the half. Tigers 13, Comets 14.
Well, you see over on the left side of your screen the blocking help up front. Nice block there to just shove one of the Comets out of the way.
Schnelly on the defensive side for Lockwood. Now 30 seconds left in the half, and Marionville has seen its lead go from 14-0 to 14-13.
Schnelly with his 5th interception. And that is only the second pick 6 that Lockwood has had this year. Landon Stump had one prior to that return. There is Landon Stump, the other defender that has a score on the season.
Well, this game has really turned here in the last 5 minutes. Now Baugh's kick picked up at the 13-yard line. It will be tossed to Bratton. He runs into his own man and is still going and dives across the 40-yard line.
First and 10 Comets.
They'll put it on the 43, and with 20 seconds left, Marionville out of timeouts. Picked up by Jackson Smith.
Yeah, trying to get the defense to follow that run to the left side. Great job of staying on his feet.
"57 yards away for the Comets and 20 seconds left. Give to Wilson, and there is Kramer to close the door.
Kramer in the backfield.
And that's going to take us to halftime.
To the 36-yard line.
The loss back to the 37. The clock runs out here in the first half, and the Marionville Comets lead at 14-13 over Lockwood. The 1 seed leading the 2 in Class 1 District 4, the championship game tonight in Marionville. Marionville up 14-13 at halftime over Lockwood in the Class 1 District 4 championship game. Don West back with Shane Freeby in Marionville. And Shane, a nice answer for Lockwood in that second quarter after they fell behind 14-0.
Yeah, the bad special teams play they had to start the game gave Marionville first opportunity to score from short field. Fall down 2 possessions early, 14-0, but a great job of putting a long, lengthy drive together for their first score, and then a defensive stop and a 90-yard return really evens the game back up, but a great job of just staying poised in the early going in this one.
So let's have a look at the first half highlights from this matchup for the district title. And Kane Cooper attempting to punt, but the snap was low, and he's taken down, and Marionville holds. And then soon after, a 51-yard run by Dakota Wilson into the end zone. 2-point try made it 8-0. An interception by Kyle Bratton in early part of the second quarter gives Marionville field position. Then a 59-yard strike to Bratton from Will Carlton to make it 14-0 Marionville. And that's when things started to turn a little for the Lockwood Tigers. Max Schnelly with a long run as he takes it down inside the 20-yard line and gets the Tigers into the red zone, finishes it off with a 1-yard run. It was 14-7. Then a 90-yard pick six by Schnelly with just 30 seconds to go in the first half as Schnelly takes it all the way. Extra point try failed, and that's our difference. 14-13 Marionville over Lockwood here at halftime. Shane, how about the numbers?
Well, both teams have gotten great yardage on the ground, 105 yards each way for both of these squads. Lockwood only completing one pass for 4 yards, 4 completions for Will Carlton for a total of 88. So you see your total yardage. An interception on both sides, one of which, of course, was a Schnelly pick six for the score. Marionville hasn't had a single penalty called on them tonight. 4 for 30 yards called on Lockwood. Then look at your individual numbers. Schnelly doing it on the ground with 7 carries, 60 yards, and a score. And then, of course, he did have that defensive touchdown. Jamie Kramer's been a workhorse as well as he's gotten good yardage on the night. Dakota Wilson has almost all of the offensive yards on the ground for Marionville with his 15 carries, 102 yards, and a score. And then Kyle Bratton, that huge 59-yard touchdown reception he had, has been the highlight reel in the aerial attack for the Comets.
On to the third quarter to decide the district championship when we come back to Marionville on MC 22.
Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are also vital to preserving our fine sports tradition. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This message was brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and MC 22.
Around the area on this district championship night, Ray Peck with a lead over Nixa in Class 6. That's still in the second. Webb City, a big lead at halftime over Carthage. Cassville, 14-0 over Mount Vernon, still in the second. Lebanon big over Glendale at halftime. West Plains, the 1 seed leading the 2, Carl Junction in that district. And Lamar, 40-0 over Sarcoxy. And in the matchup for the winner of this game, 28-28. Windsor and Skyline just before halftime in Urbana. So fun stuff with these two matchups in the Class 1 football championships.
Should make for a big game next week to see who moves on and claims the title. There's still a lot to be determined in this game, and just the way that that first half ended, and Lockwood came from 14 back. You got to have a feeling that momentum's on their side right now.
Marionville will receive the second half kick. They'll send Kyle Bratton and Jackson Smith back to receive the kick of Jonathan Baugh. A 14-13 lead for the Comets. Should be a fun second half tonight in Marionville with the district title on the line in Class 1 District 4. Third quarter, we send things to Shane Freeby.
All right, Don, thank you. Marionville's return game's been pretty good tonight, as this one's going to sail over the head of Jackson Smith, and they will not even be given an opportunity to bring this one back out and see if they can make a little magic happen. So they will start this first drive of the second half from the 20. Well, what a first half. The Marionville Comets had Dakota Wilson with 102 rushing yards, 102 out of the grand total of 105 they had on the ground. And it was a steady dose of Wilson as he did all of that on 18 carries.
Everyone kind of adjusting here back to the 20-yard line, and they're going to get the chain set up. Now we're set.
And away we will go with Carlton in the backfield. Wilson to his left side. A couple receivers over to the left. And the first pass will go to Jackson Smith. And he will have a big gain of 24, almost 25 yards out to the 45.
Quick hit to Jackson Smith.
Puts the ball at the 20 or the 45 after a pickup of 25. Two receivers over on the left side. They went with a short pattern, some blocking help up front, and a nice return.
One of those guys that plays all kinds of sports here at Marionville. Jackson Smith, all conference in baseball. There are several other baseball and basketball athletes out there too.
Low snap that Carlton will keep. He'll spin away from a tackle, try to break free in open field. He's drugged down after another big gain. This one will go across the 25, and he's finally stopped close to the 22.
Blaine Garver finally gets the tackle, but Carlton breaks one way back here. Watch 34, Kane Cooper, and he gets knocked off of him there. And then it's a big gainer for Carlton.
Gain of 33 yards. He's up to 34 on the night. And back-to-back first downs for the Comets. Put a man in motion. Jackson Smith goes from left side all the way to the right. And then it goes back to Dakota. Dakota will try to get the edge turn, plant the foot, and turn upfield. Won't quite get enough for a first down, but a good gain of 8.
Already down to the 15-yard line for the Comets. Behind Wilson, who rushed for over 100 yards in the first half on his own. Peyton Grubbs would like to see his team finish the drive.
Ball spotted at the 15. They gave him 7 yards, 2nd and 3. Wilson to the left side of Schnelly, or Carlton rather. Hand off, and looking for the first down yard marker. He's going to be right at it.
You see the size difference with Schnelly, who finished off Wilson there. It is enough for a first down. That is still outside the 10 at about the 12-yard line.
So from the 12, Marionville has just marched down the field here on their first drive. Wideouts on each side. Hand off, run to the right side. Good pursuit by the defense. Eli Kerr was back there for the stop after a gain again for Wilson. He chops that 10 yards in half, picks up 5 of them.
2nd down and 5.
Boy, 2 big plays on the first 2 drives. Or first 2 plays, the pass to Smith for 25 really kind of opened up the offense a little bit. Now man in motion from right to left. And it's Wilson again. Lowers his shoulder, but he's met by a white wall this time and just barely gets past the line of scrimmage and picks up 1.
Wilson straight up the middle, doesn't get much on the play. It's going to be 3rd and about 4.
Schnelly was back there. Clayton Robertson as well.
A 3rd down now. Of course, they'll have 2 plays to get the yardage. Either take it in or set up a goal-to-go situation.
Carlton will look over the defense, move Wilson from the right to the left. He's got 2 receivers over to the left, and that's where he'll look. He will complete the pass. It'll go to Smith. Smith gets swarmed back behind the line of scrimmage, a loss on the play. As we have seen Blaine Garver all over the field tonight, a tackle for loss. As this one's going to be marked back around 4 yards.
Well, that's huge. They set up 4th down now for the Comets, and not 4th and short. So see what the Comets decide to do here with 10 on the play clock.
Marionville had to use all of their timeouts in the first half of play. This is going to be close as well. They just barely get it off. 5-step drop over the middle, nearly picked off. Would have been a big play again for Schnelly. He's already got 1 INT on the night. And that one on a short yard situation, almost his second.
Just a huge stop here for the Lockwood Tigers. Schnelly would like to have another crack at that one, but as it is, Lockwood takes over on the 9.
So his pass breakup will put him back at quarterback after stopping on 4th down. And a stoppage as another equipment malfunction. This time it's on a Lockwood Tiger on the far side. You know, when you're not deep roster-wise, you got to play both sides of the ball. And your key players in Schnelly, Carlton on the other side, don't get much time off. Fake of the handoff, roll out, and a quick little pitch over to the left, and that's going to be enough for a first down after a pickup of 15.
Kramer out to the 25-yard line to move the chains, and yeah, 8 two-way starters on both sides. That is a lateral, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's going to go down as a run for 15. So a Kramer run, his biggest run of the night for Jamie Kramer. Good for 15. So from the 25. Run up the middle, good blocking help. He's going to try to break free across the 40 and down to the 43. Gain of 18.
And the Tigers have it moving now after that defensive stop moments ago. Behind the big quarterback, Max Schnelly at 6'3" and 190.
Talked about momentum coming out of halftime after Lockwood scored the last 2 touchdowns of the first half. Now Schnelly will tuck it, keep it, and get the first down. Tries to break to the outside again, gets outside the hashes and close to the 40. Schnelly's just continued to run the ball. Picked up great yardage. This one's good for 16.
Quick visit on the sideline after this run for Schnelly, and he is becoming harder and harder to stop.
Well, if you look back to the last few years for Lockwood, they've been more of a running team. The passing numbers for Schnelly has been outstanding. Over 1,400 yards and 16 scores, but this is more along the lines of what the Lockwood Tigers have done the last few years, but he is stuffed this time. The blue wave will roll him over right at the line. They're going to give him forward progress for maybe a gain of a half a yard as the stop by Jackson Smith.
We will never forget our visit to Lockwood for the first time in 2002 for a Class 1 state quarterfinal against Ash Grove. Pirates won 33-28.
One of the best high school games I've ever seen. 2nd and 9. Pass to the left goes through the hands of the intended receiver as he was looking for Jamie Kramer. That brings up 3rd and long.
Ash Grove went on to win that one 33-28 and hosted Hayti on that Saturday, a daytime game that we also did at Ash Grove for those folks and our Boot Heel Mediacom customers.
Working for Jock 98.7 at the time. Rob Evans and I got there a tad bit too late. You guys already took the booth, so he did it from the car.
Yeah.
I did it from the top of the scaffolding. Rob was scared of heights. On 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, a pitch. It will go to Kramer. Kramer will get out to the 36, close to the 35, but it's not going to be enough. And it'll bring up 4th and mid-yardage.
Well, he made quite a bit out of what could have been nothing there on that little afterthought of a toss. Still not quite enough, though, and 4th down and 4 for the Tigers.
Lockwood got a 4th down stop. Marionville will try to do the same, halt this drive, and Get it back around the 35. That's where the ball is now. Need to get to the 31. That's the line to gain. Twin receivers on both sides. Handoff, first down, and then some. Big run as Lane Dunlap goes plowing through the line of scrimmage. He'll move the chains after a big gain.
All the way to the 21 for Lane Dunlap. And Lockwood moving the ball on the ground. And this drive engineered by Max Schnelly. He goes to his big man Dunlap to the 21, and Lockwood has a first down.
And can you believe they've only gotten the ball off to him 5 times? A player that's got 8 touchdowns on the season. Great job by the defense for Marionville. And we'll get to him right at the line.
Coy Ditmar got there, but then Schnelly made some positive yardage out of it as he picks up 3 and gets inside the 20.
Long extended drive after Marionville's opening possession came up short. Inside the 15. Could not convert on the 4th down. Now Lockwood. They have marched down the field, and they are looking for their 3rd consecutive score. And they get closer with another big gain to the 10. That's good enough to move the chains, give them a fresh set of downs. So 1st and goal just inside the 10.
Dunlap again getting it done. The offensive line leading the way for Lockwood. Spencer Neal, Reese Fife. That time it's Eli Friend, the right guard, Braden Hamilton and Quentin Raymond. Great work tonight to really spur the backbone of this drive for Lockwood.
There's been the Schnelly and Dunlap show. And a flag will stop the play. They were looking for Jamie Kramer as Dunlap was lined up as fullback. And a procedure penalty. So after getting it inside the 10 down to the 9, the 5-yard mark off after the false start will bring up 1st and goal from the 14.
First down and goal from the 14-yard line.
Schnelly trying to keep the drive alive and his senior season alive as they trail by 1 and a 4-yard gain out to the 10 on another handoff. And Dunlap has gotten low to the carries in this drive as he picks up 4. That's his 7th carry of the night. He's up to 49 yards. Mostly Jamie Kramer on the touches on the handoff in the first half. This has been more Lane Dunlap. It's been run so far in the drive. As Schnelly fakes the handoff, you knew a pass was coming sooner or later, and it's good for 6 points. As he's into the end zone, the pass completion, and the TD will go to Kane Cooper. Kane Cooper from 10 yards out. That is the 6th touchdown of the season for Cooper. And a long drive that was dominated by the ground game. Scores from 10 yards out, and now up by 5. They will go for 2 to try to make it a 7-point game. Schnelly rolls out, passes in, found him one time, wait not try again. 2-point conversion good to Kane Cooper. And the time the Lockwood Tigers get the ball in the 3rd quarter of play, they go on top by 7 on the road in Marionville. Defense got this one started for Lockwood after a 4th down stop as Marionville was marching down the field. Lockwood would get the ball back in a very lengthy drive, both on the clock and on the field. after they had handed the ball off time after time. Only the second pass completion of the day for Max Schnelly, and it's good from 10 yards out to Kane Cooper. And that gives Lockwood their first lead of the game.
After they fell behind 14-0, it's 3 straight touchdowns for Lockwood going back to the middle part of the second quarter.
Deep kick that's botched and then picked back up. And after it was mishandled, Kyle Bratton will run it and get stopped, not even get back to the 20. So a long field again from the 15 for Marionville to start this drive.
That was just doomed from the start there with the little bobble and then the toss to a very tight spot on the field for Bratton, and he had nowhere to go.
So the Comets dealt with their first adversity of the night, now trailing Lockwood by a score. And they'll start with Will Carlton calling his own number. Running to the right side and picking up a couple.
Carlton out of bounds on the far side. 4-yard gain, 6-6.
So on Carlton's 9th carry, picks up 4. Second and 6. And Dakota Wilson will go back to work. Only gets a yard after hard work on the run to the right side.
Really different feel to this game right now than there was in the first half, right?
Seemed like all Marionville are in the early going.
For a quarter and a half anyway.
And now they're back on their heels. Faced with a 3rd and 4. Flushes Wilson out from the backfield, fake it to him. Little misdirection, goes right. First down, big gain. On the run, it's Coy Dittmar. So a great completion over to him, and then yards after the catch all go in Coy Dittmar's column across the 50 and down to the 49. You know, you have to give so much attention to Dakota Wilson. Whenever he got moved out of the backfield, the defense looked at him, and Coy Dittmar wide open on the other side in a big gain. Into Lockwood territory. Put a man in motion, and Carlton himself will pick up 4.
That's going to take us inside a minute here in the third quarter, and it's coming down to it in Marionville tonight on district championship night in Class 1, District 4.
No, we had a suspicion this would be a high-scoring game with both offenses scoring in the 40s, not giving up a lot of points. But the defenses have really stood their ground. And the handoff to Wilson. Gets stuck right at the 40-yard line, almost to the 40. He had to get to the 39 to get a first down, so that will bring up 3rd and short. Lane Dunlap was in on the stop of Dakota Wilson.
But Wilson just keeps driving after his hit.
Third and a short 2. It goes to Wilson. First down. He will get to the 36, and that will bring the clock down to zeros. 2 very long opening drives to start the game. Marionville didn't get anything out of it. Lockwood did, as they go back on top by a score. Quarterbacks have both put on a good show in this one, but Lockwood will lead by 7 after 3. Whether it's balls and strikes, fouls or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend a sporting event. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we can teach our students. This message has been brought to you by your friends at MC22 and the Missouri State High School Activities Association. Shane Freeby, Don West coming to you from just past the border in Lawrence County as the Marionville Comets, after leading the entire first half of play, now fallen behind the visiting Lockwood Tigers, but they're moving the ball extremely well. They've got it down to the 36-yard line as we start our fourth quarter, and here's Don.
All right, Shane, it's going to come down to the final 12 minutes here in Marionville. It's a first down for the Comets, and Carlton going deep down the middle, and it's caught by Bratton for the touchdown.
More open than a Walmart before the pandemic. Touchdown!
36 yards for Bratton. No one around him.
Completion of Bratton for 36.
And this is where it gets a little on the interesting side for Marionville. Another look at the score over the middle. Nobody picking up on the wide open Kyle Bratton. And he will score the touchdown, gets his second of the game. But now Marionville had gone away from the kicking game for the PATs. They've gone primarily two-point conversions since the loss of Austin White. A 1-point extra point would tie it. They're going to try for 2.
And the lead here, and this one is intercepted in the end zone. Two-point try, no good. Blaine Garver with the interception, and Lockwood holds the lead at 21-20.
I don't know what you people came here for tonight, but this is a ball game.
Well, Don, we got it to you right in time. Right out of the third quarter break.
Look how
Pass
open he
over
is.
the middle, nobody around him, and just a complete breakdown in the defense. Closest defender was Blaine Garver, and again, he was, I think, just the way this flow has gone, it's been run, 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 and I think they were expecting something up the middle, but instead, yeah, it was up the middle all right, but on a pass play.
So on one play in the fourth quarter, the difference is 1. Your state rankings and the final regular season rankings that have been out for a couple of weeks now. In Class 6, Nixon number 9, 1 and 2 battling tonight in Carthage in Class 5. In Class 4, you had Bolivar, West Plains, and Rogersville, which ended its season 2 weeks ago in our game against Hillcrest. Cassville state ranked, Lamar and Liberty in Class 2, and the entire run of Class 1 rankings right there with Marionville at number 5, Mid-Buchanan number 1, and Hayti number 2, and the Thayer Bobcats good as always and ranked 3rd, Skyline number 7. So now the Lockwood Tigers stand to get the ball back with a 1-point lead intact. Some Tigers sneaking up to the line, maybe looking for something, and Lockwood calls timeout.
Timeout called by Lockwood.
We'll step away for just a moment. It's Lockwood by 1 early in the fourth. (21-20) Lockwood. 11:52 to go. The timeout called by Clay Lassiter before the Lockwood kickoff. The Marionville kickoff. Kane Cooper back to receive it now as Lockwood will keep a close eye on it here. Short kick. It'll be fielded at the 28-yard line. And it is Jamie Kramer close to midfield and bottled up there.
The 28 by Kramer brought out to about the 47, 48.
So the Tigers with very good field position to start a drive with a 1-point advantage.
Boy, I understand wanting to try to do something different, trying to maybe not necessarily kick it long and hope for the best, but whenever you're giving this Lockwood Tiger team that's been somewhat unstoppable on their last 3 or 4 drives, giving them short field may not be best thing to do here in the 4th.
Asking for trouble here maybe. There's Dunlap. Good defensive surge by the Comets. It's still a gain of 3, but Dunlap driven back.
Cross midfield to about the 48-yard line.
So into Comet territory at the 48. Dunlap back there with Schnelly on 2nd and 7. Fake to Dunlap. Schnelly going to his right and caught at the 45. Eli Kerr with a catch. And a gain of about 4 more yards.
And you start to see the Lockwood Tiger offense taking just a touch more time. They had been going up the line only a hard count, maybe once or twice before the snap. Now they're starting to slow the game down a little bit, trying to lengthen this drive out even more and milk the clock. But you also don't really want to get out of your rhythm either. It's worked for you so far through the 2nd and 3rd quarter.
3rd and 2, Schnelly, first down for the Tigers, and he will drive it ahead to the Comet 37.
Schnelly on the keeper, he gets enough for the first down.
And Schnelly, for all the passing yards he's had in this season, talking with the coaching staff beforehand, he's like, we're completely going to go by the game flow. We're going to wait and see what the defense does. And if we have to change from a passing team to a running team, we're more than happy to do that.
Kramer driven back by 5 Comets.
Kramer on the carry to the 34-yard line.
To the 34 with his progress and a pickup of 3.
And whenever we talked to him about the passing numbers that Schnelly had put up on the season, they're like, yeah, he's got 1,400 yards. He doesn't have a ton of passing yards in the previous 2 years because we were more of a running team, and there were, in essence, 2 weeks that he didn't play either, so those numbers could have even been more inflated than what they were.
Fake to Dunlap. That could be a free ball, and it's picked up by Kramer, and it is called a lateral.
I was on the same page with you. It looked like that was headed backwards. So good heads-up play. A lot of players just expect a pass like this. So he's right at the, yeah, it's going back by a good yard or 2. And a lucky break with the way it bounced right back to Jamie Kramer.
3rd and 10. A give to Kramer. He cuts it upfield, but he's short of the first down.
Kramer to the 31-yard line.
Takes it to the 31. And it will be 4th and 4 for the Lockwood Tigers.
4th down.
Well, when Marionville needed a 4th down stop earlier, they didn't get it. Now a second opportunity.
One of the biggest plays of the night right here. Give to Kramer, and the handoff. Yeah! And it's Blaine Garver who is stopped short of the first down. He actually had Schnelly there where he could have tossed it again.
Schnelly stayed there as the pitch man, so on the reverse, it turns into a reverse option. And instead of pitching it to Schnelly, Garver keeps it and gets stuck. So Marionville does indeed get their fourth down stop. The handoff, you may be able, and almost chose to pitch it, and maybe that little fake was in an attempt to get Marionville to bite on that, go after Schnelly instead, but they stayed with their assignments and ended up getting a big-time stop.
Now it's the Comets at their own 30 with 7:50 to go. And a low snap there, and Carlton makes something of it. Now he's got open field on the near sideline. Out of bounds at the Lockwood 40. And even beyond that, a gain of 33 yards. How about this?
Now walking the tightrope. And angles off on the pursuit, pushed out by Dunlap.
At the 37-yard line of the Tigers. Give to Dakota Wilson. He breaks the 35, that's about it. Got about 3 yards.
Wilson straight up the middle, just across the 35-yard line. 3-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 7.
What will the Comets have in them here? Just under 35 yards away, down by 1. Second down. Back to Wilson. Stuffed. Dunlap was there quickly and had plenty of help. Schnelly was there.
Flag on the play from the far side.
Flag on the far side.
And 78, Quentin Raymond. Referee Brian Reese. And it's 5 on the Comets.
That's some bling.
Indeed it is.
Well, he's been key on defense as he has on offense. With Schnelly, got that big interception. Batted another one down for a 4th down stop.
We put it on the Lockwood 42 for 2nd and 12. More than that. 2nd and about 15. Carlton, and that is short of Wilson and incomplete.
Incomplete pass is going to be 3rd and long, Comets.
You know, we haven't seen many errant passes. I would consider that one, as that's just hurrying up your cadence. Pass goes short, so tough break there for Marionville. Brings up 3rd and long. Money down situation for Lockwood's defense here. Get a big stop. Force them into a 4th down where you know they're not going to punt in this situation.
15 to convert here for Marionville. Fake. And some time, and Carlton now has to run for it. And only to the 40, and he's caught by Eli Kerr.
Well, Clayton Robertson flushed him out. He applied the pressure as he got into the backfield. And then Eli Kerr was able to step up and finish him off. He was able to pick up 3, close to 4 yards. And boy, whenever he's running it, he just palms it instead of tucking it away. That's a fumble ready to happen.
4th and 11. Carlton finds Wilson. And here goes Dakota Wilson. Yes! Inside the 25 for a first down.
Big play of 17 yards.
The Comets keep it alive.
Just a short little pass. And then letting him do the rest himself. 2 big blocks, and Schnelly, last man between he and the end zone.
At the 22 of the Tigers. Back to Wilson, to the 15. And that's a 7-yard pickup.
Dakota Wilson's not doing much wrong right now in the passing game as well as the running game. Takes it right to the big guys. Quentin Raymond with the stop, but still showing no fear, bringing up 2nd and short.
Now it's Wilson to the 10, and that's a first down. We'll see if it's goal to go or not. It's going to be really close to the 10-yard line for the Comets.
That's where he came down.
Right on the 10.
Well, you can see him. He's starting to get a little winded.
First and goal with Marionville down 1. 4.5 minutes to go. Carlton into the teeth of the line and down to the 5 and inside the 5.
Oh, when they brought a man in motion from right to left, back in the secondary, Schnelly followed him. And that really kind of congested that left side up because they were bringing the defense over with that man in motion, plugged that hole, and still a solid run for Carlton.
Four yards away. Give to Wilson. And not in.
Well, about as close as it gets as one of the officials come in, and he is just barely outside the end zone when they mark him down. We'll get a great look at it here from the pylon cam. And indeed, he is easily a half-yard short.
Come on, Comet fans, push him in there.
Third down. Inside the 1 as Marionville looks for the lead. Give to Wilson.
Ooh.
And he's hit. And he's in for the lead for the Comets.
Had to be second, third, maybe even fourth effort that got him in, because that initial contact was well outside the end zone. But he just kept rolling, and now up by 5. Marionville goes back out in front. There's the initial hit, but he just continues to get past that line. Quentin Raymond, those two have met on more than one occasion. He's a good at 2 yards out, but just shrugs him off to the left and falls in.
Now the 2-point try for a 7-point lead. And a timeout before this 2-point try.
2:57 left in our ball game. Comets up by 5.
2:57 to go, and these Comets have gone undefeated to this point. Willow Springs took them overtime in week 2. That was a Comet 29-21 win on the road. The week 3 win over Lockwood. The run through the Southwest Conference. And here to the district championship for Marionville.
This game isn't decided yet, fans. Reminder, tonight's game is being taped for broadcast by Mediacom Connection Channel 22 at Springfield. Replay times for tonight's game are Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night at 7 o'clock. Broadcasts are available to Mediacom customers.
So 2:57
and other communities served by Mediacom. Sports on NC22
left here for Lockwood.
And in the coming weeks, the game
Or for Marionville for this 2-point try first, as they look for the 7-point margin.
Wilson lining up behind Carlton. Usually he's off to the side.
He'll trail him, and Carlton looking. Now he'll throw, and there's a man! Caught by Kyle Bratton.
Not a designed play by any stretch. They were looking for possibly Wilson as a pitchman, but whenever Carlton got spun around, see, you've got Wilson the entire time as a pitchman, looked at him not once but twice, then a third time, and then whenever the defense got to Carlton, got him stopped, they thought the play was done. But Bratton was able to find an opening, just found a little seam, a little soft spot in the defense, floated it into him, and that's a big 2-point conversion.
What a game for the district title tonight in Marionville. 2:57 left. 2 timeouts on each side. And now Lockwood 7 down after the Tigers scored 3 straight touchdowns through the middle of the second to the end of the third quarter. It's been Marionville to answer with 2 here in the fourth. Carlton to kick. And just hammered into the end zone.
Look at that line drive kick fly.
Come out to the 20.
Tigers will start their own 20.
Took kind of a chance there, working that near sideline. Stayed well in bounds.
Flirted with it.
Mediacom Extreme On Demand can help you find your favorite local sporting event that we've worked here in the last few weeks. Just press the On Demand button on your remote control, and you can watch our games anytime 24/7, including this one once it gets up sometime next week. It'll be there for several weeks for your viewing anytime. Lockwood from the 20, 2:57 to go. Dunlap has a first down out across the 35-yard line, and Lockwood's not done yet.
Across the 35 to the 36-yard line. That's enough for a Lockwood first down.
Gain of 16 on the opening play. I'm telling you, this Lockwood team, they've got plenty of bullets left in the chamber. They really spread the wealth the entire game. Dunlap's become more efficient here in this second half. And when you've got Max Schnelly, there's no telling what he's able to open up this offense to do.
Here he goes, and Comets are all over him in quick order. That's just a gain of about 2 to the 39.
And you wonder how the big stops that Marionville has gotten here in this second half has really kind of propelled them as well, because they know they can stop this Lockwood offense. They can get the big plays whenever they need to, and they're with their season on the line and leading, needing a big defensive stop.
Schnelly across to Cooper into Comet territory at the 45. Kane Cooper with the catch to move the chains.
And that was a pass in a perfect place for Cooper as he was coming in from the right side, just on a quick hit. On the fake of the handoff, tries to get the defense to bite. And you can see 3 different blue jerseys, end up being 5 by the time it's all said and done. But back in coverage, Bratton was unable to strip it free.
We wind with under 2 minutes to go. Schnelly gives to Dunlap. inside the 40. 5, maybe 6 yards, and the clock rolls at 1:45.
And again, both teams with 2 timeouts. They will try to conserve those as much as they can.
2nd and 5, just shy of the 37.
Dakota Wilson trying to strip the ball free.
Schnelly to the air, and it is tipped around and incomplete. Ooh.
Tell you, Wiley Brown saved the day right there, as Brown was the first one to tip it. Caden Kleinlein was back there as well. As there's the tip, and if that ball does not get tipped, it hits the receiver in perfect stride in Blaine Garver. So key play so far this half defensively was that play by Wiley Brown.
Come on, defense.
3rd and 5. Schnelly to his left. And this is incomplete to Garver. And it's 4th down.
And even if he had caught it, it wouldn't have been a first down. He was still a good yard short.
As it is, the clock stopped at 1:17.
Come on.
There it is. Timeout. Taken by Lockwood.
Called by Lockwood. 1:17 left. Comets by 7.
1:17 left in the season of one of these teams. The other advances to play next week against either Windsor or Skyline. That game has been tight tonight in Urbana. What a night by Max Schnelly. On both sides.
We're really guiding the offense. You mentioned being on both sides, primarily the quarterback. Big runs for the QB, the senior, trying to keep his season alive. Just so difficult to bring down. He has that size to him. As you see the touchdown there. Then defensively, big play here on the 90-yard pick 6. And that is really what got Lockwood rolling in the closing minutes of the second quarter of play. They carried it over into the third quarter. But a quarterback that's really developed into a passer this season, able to hit big strikes there for that touchdown.
4th and 5. 4 receivers out for Schnelly. And it is caught by Kramer, and he stretches but can't get it there, and the Comets will take over.
Boy, you're asking your receiver to do a whole lot there with a pass that's well behind the line of scrimmage to start with. Yards after the catch have been so big tonight, especially whenever the defense is playing off the way they are. But when you're out of the gun, you're already starting in a 3-yard deficit whenever you need to get another 3 yards on the other side of the stick.
Just one timeout for Lockwood. And Marionville really doesn't need to do much here. That's a knee.
Comets take a knee.
No timeout call. Now it is taken by Clay Lassiter. But with 50, well, the clock's still running. Should be at about 58 if they want to reset it. But Marionville is on the brink. The Comets with 16 district championships in their history, and Lockwood with 17. They will reset to 58.
Good call, Don.
What a game tonight. It looks like Marionville is going to have just enough, as they fell behind 21-14 by the end of the third quarter. and 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, one to Kyle Bratton on a 36-yard pass and a Dakota Wilson 1-yard run. Both Bratton and Wilson scored. Actually, had 2 touchdowns tonight. There's the knee. And the Comets will need to do this just one more time. The number 1 seed Comets are going to take the district title and move to the state quarters next week.
And for the final time,
that will be it. Marionville stays perfect as they improve to 12-0. Lockwood finishes another terrific season at 9-2, and both losses coming to these Comets. Marionville moves to the state quarters with the district championship tonight on their home field. 28-21, our final score. Marionville for the district championship. A Marionville win, 28-21, and a nice cold bath for Coach Peyton Grubbs as the Comets take the district championship by a touchdown over Lockwood.
You know, it's special whenever you have the history at the high school that you coach at to get one of those baths.
Here they are. Your 2020.
Marionville about to be introduced as the Class 1 District 4 champions.
Your Marionville Comets!
So the Comets await the result of Windsor and Skyline for their game next week. And the Marionville Comets with the win. Some great performances tonight. Dakota Wilson had one of those great performances for the Comets this evening, a 51-yard run in the first quarter. That got Marionville off to an 8-0 lead. Over 100 yards rushing in the first half.
Over 100 yards rushing in the first half. Give an honorable mention to Kyle Bratton, who had the 2 touchdowns and the interception. But whenever you saw just the workload that Wilson had tonight, carry after carry, and he was in on a number of different tackles, he came up big on both sides.
Well, our next game will be high school basketball, and the new gymnasium at Greenwood will be christened as the Diamond Lady Wildcats come in to take on Greenwood, and that'll be coming up on November 23rd for our start of our 40th high school basketball season. We complete our 40th high school football season tonight. Many thanks to Marionville Athletic Director Greg Hopkins for all the hospitality as his Comets win over Lockwood tonight, 28-21. For Shane Freeby, for Corey Riggs and our crew, I'm Don West. Thanks for joining us for another high school football season, and good night from Marionville.